In today's tutorial, let's work on the eyelets and texture blanket. This is an amazing blanket using Bernat Maker Home Deck yarn. Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to work on the eyelets and texture blanket. I have to say I absolutely love this Afghan. I did a sample, as I will point out in just a few moments. I love the texture. I cannot love this thing anymore. It is that amazing, and I hope that you will enjoy it at the same time. Today we're using a brand new yarn called Bernat Maker Home Deck yarn, and I'm going to show you a little bit about this yarn because this is actually 72% cotton, 28% nylon. It's kind of like a cord, but it's not, and it's super soft. It's like butter. It's amazing. So I'm going to teach you today on how to be able to change the size. We're actually going to work lengthwise, so usually we go up, back and forth up to the Afghan. This time we're going to work in the length and work our way to the side, and it's actually a very easy pattern to follow, and I have some notes written on the pattern that you can actually see here so that you can make some notes for yourself if you see that my system makes sense for you. So let's talk a little bit about the yarn first, and then we'll get back to the pattern. The Bernat Maker Home Deck yarn is a brand new yarn line to Yarnspirations, and you will see that it's almost like a cord. It's like a round tube, and the outside kind of looks like it's knitted here, and then there's kind of like fluff in the middle to give it volume. This has a bit of a stretch to it, as you will see, and it has a little bit of weight to it as well. So when this goes to drape, it's going to drape quite beautifully, and look at the stretch. Okay, so it's a great little yarn for this, and because it's made up of 72% cotton, it's something that you can use in the warmer temperatures. I think this is the cat's meow. This is amazing. I love this particular sample, and I kind of regret not making the whole thing for myself. So this is a really kind of a cool idea. Let's go back to the pattern and let's talk about what you're going to need in order to do this. So we're now back at the written pattern, and this has some handwritten notes that I've done to make sense for myself, because it's easy to lose track because you have to repeat so many different rows. But the reality is that every other row is opposite to each other, and sometimes it's easy to lose count on that, and that's where I kind of went wrong on that. My sample is actually perfect. It's just sometimes you second guess yourself, and so I wrote some notes on here. So it says chain 140. So if you would like to make this in any other size that you wish, as long as you keep it in an even number, you're good. So you can go like 120 if you wish. So it's going to be working from the lengthwise, so from top down to bottom. Okay, so it's not back and forth like this going up, and you will see that there's like a line going through there. So when you're looking at the sample, just like you see here, this is how we're working it, like this. Okay, so this would be the lengthwise that it's draping onto the sofa. Okay, so this is the double crochet that you're looking at here. So because we're working with two different lines, one line starts off with a chain 2, and the other one starts off with chain 1 and then slip stitch, and you're doing opposite to each other every time you go. So what I did for myself is that it says go for rows number 2 and 3, and then here it says repeat rows 2 and 3 one more time, and then repeat rows 2. So what I did for myself is that I went 4, 5 and 6, okay, so that I know exactly how to do it here, because sometimes I get confused, and then I go to row 7. So what I did on this side here is that I created a little graph for myself. So row 7 was the double crochet, which is the gapping space that you see right there, and then in row 8 we started off with chain 2 first. Row 9 was slip stitch, row 10 was chain 2, so it's opposite to each other. And all I'm just going to do off camera here is that I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to do a check mark every time that I satisfy that, because what you want to do is that you want to pay attention to that, because each one of these panels are the same distance. Okay, so if you're off by one, it's going to be very noticeable in this particular project. So if you want to take a screenshot or stop the video right now to see what I've written here for yourself, it may be a lot easier for you. I also wrote on this side, you'll see rows number 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this is the same rows. So the third row was used in row number 9, 10 and 13, and row number 2 was used in number 10, 12 and 14. So I just did a little checklist for myself to make it a lot easier. Let's talk a little bit about the stitch first, and then we're going to dive right into the handwork. So we're going to be using a size L 8mm crochet hook today. Now one of the rows has slip stitch and then half double crochet, slip stitch, half double crochet. The other row has half double crochet, slip stitch, so it's completely opposite. So you get these fabulous lines that appear when it is being worked. And what I want you to do is that I want you to pay attention to those lines, because those lines are your cue to know if you're on the right track. So one side of the afghan, you will notice that you have what appears to be, see this over here, how many is there? There's 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then in the next one here, this is the middle, 1, 2, 3 and 4, so I know it's in balance, and the next one's 1, 2, 3 and 4. Look for those lines that go up on a diagonal like that, because that'll help you determine whether you're on the right track or not. And if you don't see that diagonal, then what's happened is that instead of slip stitching, you may have accidentally done a single crochet. It does happen. I think I did it too. I did it right here. So I missed it right here, and you can see that there's no line going in an angle like that because I missed it. So you don't want to do something like that midway through your project, because if it's missing in one section, your eyes of course as a crocheter are gonna go right to it. So let's grab our hook and some yarn. It's the Bernat Maker Home Deck today, and the slip stitching, you're thinking to yourself, well, you're never gonna get anywhere if you slip stitch. It's a big hook, it's a thick yarn, and because of that you will be so surprised on how fast this works up. So without further ado, let's grab our stuff and let's get going. So let's get going. We're going to create a slip knot. I'm using the color gold in this particular yarn line, and again an 8mm size L crochet hook today. So remember what I said about the yarn as far as the chain. If you keep it in an even number, you can get it to work at any point. So you can chain as long as you need to, as long as you keep it at an even number, and then it will completely work out. So if you want to do exactly as the pattern, just chain 140. That's a generous size afghan of 40 inches by 55. You will need a total of 5 balls in order to do that. So I'm going to just do a small sample for you today, and I'm going to do a total of 10. So just because that's an even number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So do the length of the chain that you want, and then just join me right now, and we're gonna go for row number 1. In row number 1, we're gonna start off second chain from the hook. So just look back underneath the hook and just go to the second one, turn it and get to the back loop only, and I want you to insert it into that back loop of the second one, and I want you to slip stitch it. So pull through and through. Now the next one is going to be a half double crochet. So the next chain is a half double crochet, and you're gonna do completely opposite to each other. So the next one is a slip stitch, so just pull through and through, and the next one is a half double crochet. This is what's creating that texture. So you just have to do every other stitch as being opposite. So the next one is single is a slip stitch, and then the next one is a half double crochet. And you're gonna work your way all the way down the line doing that same thing. So the next one's a slip, and the next one is a half double. Now because I had you do an even number, the last one should be the same as the first one. So if you remember, we slip stitched on the first one, so the last one on the row should be a slip stitch as well. So if you've been going opposite to each other, it'll work out to be that way. So that's a good indication if you know you've done it right. So if you end up on the other side and it's opposite to what the starting was, you know that something is wrong in the middle. Let's turn our work and go for row number 2. So row number 2 is exactly opposite to what was underneath. So remember, we started off with the slip stitch on the one right below it. So this time we're gonna start off in chain 2. 1 and 2. That does not count as a stitch in this pattern, so you're going to want to half double crochet into the same stitch right underneath it, and there is your real stitch. Okay, so it's your half double crochet, and then the next one is a slip stitch. So this one is opposite to what you did below. So right where you put the slip stitch last time was actually a half double crochet last time. So it's opposite. So the next one is a half double crochet. So I'm not paying attention to what's underneath, I'm just paying attention to doing it opposite this time. So this one is a slip stitch, and the next one is a half double. The next one is a slip. The next one is a half, and the next one's a slip, and I have one stitch left, and the last one is a half double crochet, and the first stitch was a half double crochet in this row here. So because I know this one was a half double crochet and I ended on a half double crochet, I know that I'm in balance. Let's turn our work and let's take a look. Now you can start seeing those lines coming across on the diagonal, and those will settle down even as we get further. So let's move along to row number 3. So row number 3, it's opposite to what was underneath. So we finished with the half double. So this one is the opposite. So we're gonna chain one first, and then we're gonna slip stitch into the first one. Okay, so slip, and then work our way down. So the next one then must be a half double. It's right here. So just look for your stitches. So the next one's a half double, and then the next one is a slip. So you're just doing this all the way across. The next one's a half, and the next one's a slip, and half, and slip, and keep working your way all the way down. The next one is a half, and the last one I'm about to run into here is a slip stitch, and that's how I started on the other side, so I know that this is in balance. And now you can see that the diagonal lines have now taken their shape, their proper formation, and that was the completing of row number 3. So let's turn our work and let's do row number 4. In row number 4 we want to do exactly like it was in row number 2. You'll just look at that there. And so row number 2, if you look at it, was chain 2, and it's just easy for me to remember this because the last stitch underneath was a slip stitch, so I know that this one here has to be a half double crochet. So we chain 2, half double crocheted in the first one because the chain 2 does not count it as anything, and now we're gonna work our way across. So the next one's a slip and a half and a slip and a half, a slip and a half, a slip, and the last stitch has to be a double crochet, or sorry, half double, because we started off with a half right in the very beginning. That was row number 4. So let's turn our work and let's do row number 5. Okay, row number 5, simply it's the same as row number 3, so that's just chain 1 and slip, and I really did not need to look to do that. Sorry, it's a slip, and because the last one was a half double crochet underneath, so it's opposite this time. So then that means the next one has got to be a half and slip and half and slip and half and slip. Okay, it's half, and then the final one is the slip because that's the one I started off with anyway, but I'm also staying in balance, and that was row number 5. Let's turn our work and go for row number 6. Okay, in row number 6 it's the same as row number 2, so then we're gonna just chain up 2. Okay, and again the last one in the row below is a slip stitch, so that I know this is gonna be a half double this time. Okay, so it's a half double, and then slip, half, and slip, and then half, and slip, and half, and slip, and half. So that was completing row number 6. So we're now going to go for row number 7, which is now the gapping spaces that separate this panel from the rest, and this is quite neat. So let's begin the next one. So row number 7, we're gonna put this double crochet in here, so we're double crocheting, skipping 1 stitch and double crocheting, and that's how we're creating that as we go all the way across. So let's do this for row number 7. So in row number 7 we're gonna start off with this one. Is this time we're gonna chain 4, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. This counted as 1 double crochet and a chain 1. It counts as that. So we're not gonna worry about going into the same one. We're not gonna worry about going into the next one. We have to skip 1 and go right there. Okay, so we don't go into the same one right underneath. We skip that next one and we go into the next one for a double crochet, and we're gonna do that all the way across. So we're gonna chain 1 then, and then skip 1, and then double crochet into the next one after that. Okay, you're gonna do that all the way across. So chain 1, skip 1, and double crochet, and you're gonna do that all the way across, and then eventually you're gonna run into the last stitch anyway. So chain 1, and when you get to the other side the last stitch is certainly just a double crochet. Don't go into a chain space like I just did there. Go right into the chain itself to do your final double crochet to keep yourself in balance, and this is what it looks like at this point. So let's move along to row number 7, or sorry, row number 8, which is then starting to repeat yourself on what you've done, and I'm gonna take you all the way to this row back once more, and then I'm gonna leave the rest of the pattern for you to be able to do. So let's turn our work and let's get ready for row number 8. So here on my sheet I just did row number 7, so I've just done a check mark that I've done it, and now I can move down. So row number 8 is starting off with chain 2. Row number 9 I'm gonna do the slip and chain 2 and etc., etc., and just work my way down the checklist as I go. So let's move along to row number 8. Row number 8 we're gonna chain 2, and we're going to half double crochet right into the top of the first double crochet that's right underneath it. It's the same stitch, and then we're gonna slip right into this chain one space. So just slip in and just slip stitch it, and then half double crochet into the next double crochet that you see here, and then the next space just a slip, and you're gonna do that all the way down. So this is exactly what you already know. This time is just you have a space to work with to fill it out. So it's a slip and then half. Do not forget that you still have to slip in this last space here and then follow it with a half double crochet in the third chain up. So 1, 2 and 3. So right into the chain itself to do a half double crochet, and that completes off row number 8. So let's turn our work and let's get ready for row number 9. Row number 9, we're gonna chain up 1, and it's a slip stitch this time because the last time we finished with a half double. So it's a slip and then it's a half and slip and a half and slip and a half and slip and a half, and the last stitch is then just a slip because that's how we started on this side. And let's turn our work and go for row number 10. Row number 10 is starting with the chain 2. So 1 and 2, and it's a half into the same one right underneath it. So it's a half, and then the next one that must be a slip. So a half must be it, and then the next one's a slip and half and slip, half and slip, and the last one has to be a half because we started with that. So there is your half right at the end, and that concludes off row number 10. Let's turn our work, go for row number 11. Row number 11 is chain 1 and slip into the beginning because it's opposite to what's underneath it, and then half and then slip and then half and slip and half and slip and half, and the last one is a slip because that's what we started with. Because it's such a short distance I can remember that. It's when it gets longer then I get confused. So that was concluding off row number 11. Let's go for number 12. So let's move up to row number 12. So the last one was a slip stitch, so this one has to be a chain 2 and a half double crochet into the starting one, and then slip into the next. So again it's just opposite. See, this pattern is really not a big deal, which I loved. I just got to keep it, make sure I do opposite to each other, and I find that my body just wants to do it without me really having to think about it too much. I got to think a little bit, but it's not a deal breaker for me. So I'm just doing completely opposite as I go, and the last one is obviously a half double crochet because we started off with the chain 2, and that was concluding off row number 12. Let's turn our work and let's do 13. Row number 13 is we're gonna start up and chain 1 and then slip into the beginning, the starting one, and then the next one is opposite. So this one is going to be half double and then slip and then half and slip. So half double and slip and half double and slip, half double, and the final one is a slip. So that was row number 13. So when you're finishing up this particular Afghan, it says in the instructions that you should be ending in row number 13, which is this one here. So let's turn our work and go for row number 14, and this is the last one before we do another gapping space. So let's turn our work and let's just chain up 2, 1 and 2 because we slipped in the last one. This time it has to be a half double, so we're gonna do a half double and slip and half and slip and half and slip and half and slip, and the last one is a half double crochet. So that's it now, and we're gonna go back and do row number 7 again. And row number 7, let me just get this done first. and row number 7 is that gapping space, just like you saw over here. So we turn our work and we immediately, remember how I showed you that there's gonna be 4? So 1, 2, 3, 4. See how that it's kind of turned over? These, you see that? So I know that I'm done that. So let's do our chain, our number 7. So we're gonna chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Remember that counted as a double crochet plus a chain 1. So you skip, you don't go into the one right directly below. You skip the next one and you go to the one right there. Okay? So I say that because the half double crochet, you come into the exact same one underneath. So skip the next one and go to the one next to it as a double crochet, and you're gonna do that all the way across. So chain 1, skip the next one, go to the second over for another double crochet, and continue that all the way down. So then chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next, and you'll do that all the way, and then the final stitch, even if you skip 1, the final stitch will still be the double crochet. So now you're ready to continue again on your journey, and then you're gonna create some more solids. So just like you seen in my example here, so I did more obviously, so I have 3 kind of panels so far that I did. I just kept on going, and it's really a lot of fun, and I think this is a really cool pattern. So have fun with this design. It's not as hard as it looks, and in fact I think it is so amazing. I think it'll look great in pretty much any home setting, and because it is 72% cotton and polyester, I think it'll drape beautifully on your furniture, and I think you'll have it for years to come. Till next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of the Crochet Crowd as well as yarnspirations.com. Have a super day. We'll see you again real soon. Bye bye.